I'm just saying, I'm that type of person. Don't tell me you want to talk to me and then tell me, oh, we'll talk later.
Well,
Oh, that bugs me to no end.
I know. I could email you, Alan.
Not now. You're getting ready to do the show. You're
Well,
funny.
we're good. You good?
I think so.
Yeah.
I know. I'm pretty sure. I may butcher the French.
You're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I hope so. I took like 3 weeks of French in high school. That was about it.
I'm missing Lady Andrea. This just say it's not cool.
Yeah.
I don't like when one of us is missing. Well,
Oh
that's how
yeah,
I
no.
guess that's how y'all feel when I'm missing.
Yeah, but you're not on that often. I mean, it's not like this
Mm-mm.
is regular. So, uh-uh.
She deserves a break, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. We all do.
Yep. And she could say, "Look at my young apprentices. My young apprentices."
All right,
Yeah.
everybody, here comes the open.
All right.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Alan. Roll.
Welcome, 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 and thank you for joining us here at Authors Up, a forum for authors by authors. We air on ALH Broadcasting, an affiliate of the Streaming Inspirational Broadcast Network, and on Facebook on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m., with a replay on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. We are also now available as a podcast, so you can take us with us wherever you go. We're on Spotify, Apple, Google, many others. Just search for Authors Up Show and download us on your favorite platform. And actually, we're also on YouTube as well, so you can
All
watch us
right.
there. Yeah, I
I
know,
didn't know
right?
that one. Hey.
Yep, that's pretty new.
All
So,
right.
my name is Ruth Griffin, and I am joined tonight by my co host, Victoria Henderson Poole. Say hi.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Good evening, Marcia. Good evening. Oh, Marcia, I'm sorry. I don't want to say your name wrong, but good evening.
Well, if you are a regular viewer or listener, you know that I do not normally open the show. Andrea does that for us, but
She
she
does.
will not be joining us
Oh,
tonight.
we missing
Uh,
one of the bronze girls.
yeah, we are, but she's taking a break. She
Yeah,
had another commitment, and time wouldn't allow her to get back on time, but that's
yeah.
okay. So,
We
but
miss
she sends
you.
her love, and I know she'll be back with us next week. Okay, so she'll be back with us next week, and we will be here next week. And all of you guys have to be here next week because
Yes.
it is our anniversary show.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yes, two
2 years.
years.
Two
Who
years.
you telling?
Whew.
Um, so that's something you don't want to miss. I don't know what we're doing yet. We'll figure it out. But you
Focus.
definitely don't want to miss it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, um, the other thing we have to talk about, oh, our production.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, so we are looking for actors. We are looking for male and female. If you are interested in joining our production of
Yeah.
Full of Grace, please email us at authorsup@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. It'll be fun. So,
Please do, because we don't want to read all the roles ourselves and just kind of go back and forth. We need people to join us on this production full of grace. So please join us.
yes, yes. So, we're not going to divert too much. So, Victoria, how was your week?
Week week in review. Still basking in the warmth and the humbleness and the gratefulness of winning the award, a Women of Inspiration for the Achi Awards. Now, I talked all about it last week, how I felt. And this, for my week in review, Wasn't the greatest week. I wasn't feeling well. Still not
Oh.
feeling 100%, so I didn't go to work all week. But God is good. God is good.
Mhm,
I
mhm,
am
all
here
the time.
tonight, and like I told you, I always try to look better than I feel. So,
And you look
that's something.
great.
Thank you, thank you.
You're
God
welcome.
is good. God is good.
Yes, it is.
He's just been with me this week, and He's a keeper, and He's a healer, and I trust
Mhm,
Him, and I
mhm.
believe in Him. So that's my week in review. But I want to hear all about how you felt when they called your name and you walked up on that stage.
Oh, you didn't tell everybody?
No, I could only talk for me. And I said I didn't write a speech, whereas you had wrote a speech. I didn't write anything. It was up there talking silly. You wrote a speech.
And I think that that was the most surprising part because I have been in front of audiences before,
Right.
and I've been in front of the church before,
Yeah.
and, in classrooms and stuff like that, but
Mhm.
getting up in front of I mean, strangers,
Yes.
your family, Leah, my husband, they were the only ones I knew. And then
Yeah.
you get up there and you can't see a thing. So
Right.
you are literally just talking to the lights and the stairs and maybe, that the host is like to your
Kind of
left.
behind you. Yeah.
Right. So that was probably the strangest part about that, but it was just I mean, it was an incredible night.
It was.
I have viewed myself as an author now for over 15 years,
Okay.
and I won't say that I lost that award because I didn't,
Right.
but receiving one for radio personality and just understanding what this show has been
Yeah.
now for
Yes.
2 years
Yes.
and where it's going, where we're
Yes.
hoping it's going.
Yes.
So that has made it all the more incredible. So I am honored, I am flattered, I am just still basking.
I
So,
know, I know. And when you won for Radio Personality of the Year, I felt like I won too because
oh,
it was for the show.
mhm.
And I was like, Ruth, I just screamed your name. Yes! I was like, oh my God. I start crying. Because we are like that. When one
Mhm.
wins,
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
all win.
We all win. Exactly.
And it was a beautiful night. And just watching you up on your stage, oh my
Mhm.
goodness, it was just
Thank you.
beautiful. It was just
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
So, like someone said, it's our season.
It
It's our
is.
season. So
It is. It is. And
I accept it now. I accept it now.
okay, good. I'm glad to hear that because, whether you want to or not, we're on this train together and it's not
Exactly.
stopping. So,
Yeah, we're chugging along. But we have with us a wonder. Did you just want to say anything else about it?
no, go ahead.
No? Okay. I was just going to say we have a wonderful guest with us tonight. And Ruth is going to start out with her bios. We want to keep her waiting anymore.
Absolutely. So, we actually had the pleasure of interviewing her kids last year, who are the authors of King COVID-19. And now we get to speak with the equally awesome mom, speaker, career coach, and author, Lucie Matsouaka.
Exactly.
And I want to apologize now to everyone if I butcher any of her name or words, as she is part French. So,
That's right.
Lucie S. Matsouaka is a certified professional career coach who believes that it is not enough to only help people look good on paper before the job interview. As an international youth leadership coach, she gives them the tools they need to separate themselves from the masses and have a successful career no matter what that means to them. She founded the Emerging Entrepreneur, a French speaking empowerment platform where she teaches emerging entrepreneurs to, to navigate entrepreneurship. Obviously, I have a problem with that word.
That's
Storms
okay.
to stand out and be successful. Lucie has been recognized for her work across the globe, invited to Belgium to speak at the Golden Artistic Awards Festival. That's awesome. Attended by Belgium government officials and received an honor award for her work.
Through her partnership with the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, Center for Peace, U.S. Federation, she was awarded an official citation from the Maryland General Assembly. Additionally, she was featured in the Belgium magazine Bruckner and several United States magazines, such as Formidable Woman magazine, Black Rens Rolling Out, Sheen magazine, Ms. CEO, and even in Spectrum News. Lucy is a diversity and inclusivity advocate recognized as an Amazon bestseller for her work as a co author with several female Black authors. Her best selling book, Black Girls Here, takes you through the detailed and riveting experiences of the authors and how these experiences has transformed their lives. She has also published a book called Not Everyone Wins, which is um, published in English and French. Lucy says that her mission is helping you shorten. Lucy's mission is helping you shorten your learning curve. All right, I think we got through that, Ruth. We pushed it up a little
Yeah.
bit. We got through it.
That's what counts. That's
That's
what counts.
right. So after a short break, we will be delighted to bring onto the screen and voice Lucie Matsouaka.
And we're back.
Yay!
Welcome, Lucy. We are so glad to have you join us. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Welcome.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much for having me today. It's such an honor to be here. And
Oh,
listen, I just want to say thank you so much for even thinking that someone like me qualifies to this amazing show.
Oh,
Listen,
oh, thank
I mean
you.
this. I mean
I,
this. I remember when my kids, like you said, my kids weren't. This was actually their first radio show ever, and
oh,
they've
oh,
been talking
wow.
about it, and they loved it. They
oh,
loved
that's
Oh,
it.
so
we have to bring
good.
them back. They did so well. I was
They
so impressed.
loved it, and so many things changed since that time, and I am grateful for you. I'm
Oh,
grateful. By the way, congratulations for the is that Archie Awards?
Yes.
yes, yes.
Oh
Thank you
my God,
very
I saw that
much.
on social media. I was so happy for you, both of
Thank
you
you.
actually.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
that's
Congratulations!
right.
you. Thank
I listened
you.
to your speech, Ruth. I heard it. It was short and straight to the point. What I don't know to speak.
That was like 90% nervousness and, 100% gratitude, but
Right.
90% nervousness. And then, 10% I couldn't see anybody. So I was like, I got to get out of here.
And my husband said he was just standing there looking at me so proud. He said, "I'm just standing there looking silly, just grinning. I didn't even think to take your speech." Okay, it
Oh
was
my
okay because I was stuttering because I didn't write the speech like I had been
Hmm.
told to do.
God. Yeah. Listen, the funny thing is about writing a speech, sometimes you write it and then you get over there, you can't even read it. I've done that
Hmm.
before. I've done that like three or four times. It's just crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nervousness.
But you
Yes.
know what? We are, speaking of resumes, you are an awesome person. I have to say that. I just, just the latter part of what Victoria read just is
Yes,
impressive. And, we are honored to have you on the show. So
definitely.
I just wanted to say that before we get started.
Thank you.
But so you have several books, and I wanted to talk. Um, we wanted to give you an opportunity to share, your stories, share your book,
Mhm.
the books that you're in, because two of them are anthologies, aren't they?
Yes. Yes, they are. Yes.
So the latest one is called "The Stories of Immigrant Women Entrepreneurs in the United States of America," and
Mhm.
it is a beautiful book. They did an awesome job with it, and you were featured in it. And I just have to say, I'm very impressed with it. So, but why don't you tell us a little bit about that project?
That thank you for that. Listen, that book, it's been a year and a half. It was right before the pandemic when um there's some amazing lady that I don't know. I've never met in my life. She used to live no, no.
Wow.
She, yes, never met her. And even today, we speak on the phone, or maybe we write. She's original from Morocco. Her name is Salwa. So she reaches out by through Facebook, and she says, I would love, this is what I'm doing, and I would love to feature you in the book.
Wow.
Now, the skeptical part of me is like, "Ugh, I don't even know you. I don't know what you know how we are,
Yeah.
intentions are, and everything." And then I go ahead and I look at her page and I see if how credible she is, how
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
in this world of social media, you just don't know what to believe, who to
Yes.
That's right.
trust, and when you work hard and you grow to a certain level and you try you try your best to stay away from certain things, you don't want to mess that up just on one click.
Hmm. Hmm.
Exactly.
So I decided to stay away a little bit, and then she said, "Listen, I really this is in my heart, and I really wanted to do this." And after thinking a little bit, I said, "Okay, you know what? I said to myself, what do you have to lose, Lucy? You've done this before. Give it a try. That's fine." And she said, "Okay, here's my email. Let's discuss this in the email." And then
Hmm.
and then when she said she was from Morocco, I was like, "Oh, you are from North Africa." So, and I know Morocco. They
Hmm.
speak French there, so we immediately we shifted the conversation from French from English to French immediately. And you see, that was a connection right there. You
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
see what languages can do?
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, so immediately we shifted the conversation and then we started to talk and we discussed that. And at that moment, I believe she was having a little hard time finding people who
Hmm.
wanted to join her project because she has never she this is the first time that she writes a book, and she
Hmm.
really wanted to tell her story, and then she didn't want to be the only one in the
Hmm.
story in the book. She wanted to bring on other immigrant women in the US along with her to share,
Absolutely.
to make a point and to share the stories of other women who come here and start from literally from scratch, like who literally forget everything, who leave everything behind and
Hmm.
start from scratch. And she wanted to share not only her story, but the other women's struggles. So she wanted to, and she was like, I want to bring some women along with me. And that's
Hmm.
how we started to talk about it. And then that's how we started. And then I was like, okay, that's fine. But it took her almost 2 years to get to
Right.
remember there was the pandemic, and she was
Yes.
Hmm.
traveling. Yes, she was traveling. She left the US, she went back to Europe, and then she went to back to Morocco, and she traveled around she went like in 2 years, almost 2 years, she did like 22 countries. Like
Wow.
she was
Wow.
traveling, and she was writing in stops here. She decided to just travel, and that's all. And finally, she came back to the U.S. and said, "Okay, I'm done. It's ready." And you know
Oh.
how funny it is. During the pandemic was like a whole year, and so
Uh-huh.
many things happened, and I had forgotten about the book. It's one day I received an email and she says, "Hey, ladies, I'm done." Well, I was like, "Wait a minute, wait, you're still
We-
doing this?" And she said,
Wow.
yes, and she says, "Listen, I'm ready. I'm done. It's finally here. I need you guys to take a look at the information you gave." And funny thing, I'm glad she did because in a year and a half, a lot of things have changed on my side.
Mhm.
I had my website had changed. The things that I was focusing on something else a little bit more. I used to focus more on career only, and
Mhm.
Right.
now I focus a little. I mix career and youth leadership. So things were not that the same, not the same anymore. So
Yes.
I had to adjust a few things in my bio and in the book and everything. So, and I'm sure all the other women had to do the same thing as well. But anyway, here we are. It is an amazing, amazing book. I
Mhm.
love it, and I'm grateful that she even, said, "Hey, you want to be a part of this?"
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
Mhm.
um, now you have worked on another anthology before, and I was excited to, get you on the show because I see, um, I think some people hesitate to work on anthologies just because they either don't view themselves as an author, or they may not understand what the process is, or they don't view it as something that they want to do. But what was your
Mhm.
experience working on the other book, Black Girls Here?
Actually, I'm glad. It's funny that you asked this question. I wanted to become an author a long time ago. You know how you want to be an author and you
Hmm.
have so many things, and you have the desire, you feel like you have things to say and you want to say something, and you're just afraid, you have the fear, you have the whatever is going on, and you postpone and you
Hmm.
procrastinate. And then
Mhm.
you go somewhere and someone tells you things like, yeah, whatever you do, you have to write this, put this in a book, put this in a book.
Hmm.
And you hear
Hmm.
that so many times, and you're like, yeah, right, you're just talking, you're just pumping.
Yep.
And I'm so, it's funny that you say this, because you have no clue how many, like 10 years ago,
Hmm.
when
Mm.
so many people kept telling me, you have to put this story in a book, you have to do this in a book. And I was
Hmm.
like, yeah, yeah. And then finally, about 4 years ago,
Hmm.
when actually a friend of mine, she had that great idea
Yeah.
about Black Girls Here, and she was looking for African American women to share
Hmm.
their stories about the tribulations, the stuff that is going on inside the US.
Right.
But she had all her perspectives were about African American women in the US, but she didn't have someone who was born in the continent of Africa. So when she put a thing out there, and finally I was like, wait a minute. And when she told me, hey, do you want to be a part of it? I was like, but finally I was like, you know what? Why not? You see?
Hmm.
And I ended up being the only voice from Africa, the
Wow.
continent, in that book. And this is what it did for me. It finally allowed me to finally be the author that I wanted to be
That's
years
awesome.
ago. It
Yeah.
gave me the yes, it gave me the courage that I needed, because
Mhm.
before, it's so funny, listen, before I became that author officially, I was already writing my first solo, but I didn't publish it.
Hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was almost ready. It was almost ready, but I was so afraid, and I kept going
Oh,
back and forth and saying, am I good enough? Do I have something
Hmm.
to say?
Hmm.
People are gonna judge me. Hell, they can judge all they want. Listen, and that, being a part of an anthology, allowed me to not feel lonely. I didn't
Hmm.
feel
yeah.
like, at the
Yeah.
beginning, I didn't feel like it was too much of my responsibility. At the beginning, I felt like, okay, it's not the blame is not going to be on me only. So it's going to be, we're going to share that blame.
Exactly. Well,
Okay.
Lucy,
Well,
you,
that's
you
real
okay.
quick,
see, you
real
see
quick.
where my mindset was? My mindset
Uh-huh.
was that, yeah, it's not going to be me only. It's going to be a lot of people. So whatever. So,
Uh-huh.
but guess what? Guess what?
My question, real quick. Can you define what anthology is, just in case somebody doesn't know what an anthology is? Could you explain what that was for you?
It's it's simply a book where a lot of people, I mean, at least I'll say like a few people decide to get together and
Mm-hmm.
share, they talk about the same topic.
Okay.
Hmm.
We discuss the same topic, and then we share our, I almost say the French word, which is point of view, our ideas about the
Mm-hmm.
same the
Right.
same the
Same
same
time
ideas.
scales.
And we discuss all those ideas together,
Okay.
and
Okay.
then we share our perspective, I would say,
Exactly.
on,
Okay.
on the topic. Yes, and then we get all those ideas together, and we make it a book, and then
Hmm.
we publish it.
Right.
Hmm.
Okay. So
Exactly.
Black Girl Here's was your first one.
It was actually my first anthology, but it was what allowed me to said, okay, Okay, Lucy, you can breathe now. That's the reason why. And then my husband was like, "Yeah, you see, it wasn't that bad. Come on, you know."
Uh-huh.
And then I went ahead and I became bold. Immediately after, I went back and I read my book over again. I read and I published I was like exactly a year later, or less,
Mhm.
I published both of them immediately. The English version and the French version back to back. Boom, boom.
Two languages. Two languages.
Yes, two different languages back to back. And guess what? The French version got me the award in Belgium.
See?
Oh wow.
See? See? And
Wow.
just imagine if you had not taken part in that anthology. That book might still be sitting on your computer.
Thank you.
Mhm. Mhm.
Fear.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
what?
Yeah. No, and that's the thing, that's why I was so excited to have you on. I've
Mhm.
not had the pleasure of working in an anthology. I would love to.
Mhm.
And that might be something that we announce later on, but it is a gateway, and that's how I look at it. It is a gateway. Some people don't think that, okay, they can write a 60,000 page, a 60,000 word book,
Yes.
then, or maybe they
Mhm.
can't write a 20,000 word book,
Mhm. Mhm.
because
Mhm.
books are getting
Mhm.
smaller. But,
Right.
if you can start with a couple of thousand words and be
Mhm.
included with several other authors who are just as talented, it's
Yeah.
just, I mean, it could open doors.
Yes, yes, it does. And also, if you're not really a good writer,
Hmm.
it allows you to. It works both ways. But I would say you have a lot. There's a lot of benefits to it. If you're not
Mhm.
really a good writer and you're not willing to do a lot of work being with other people, if you have a chance to be with people who are great writers, that's collaboration
Hmm.
allows you to have the visibility that you want, because when you're part of something where other people really do a lot of work, because when this is what I've seen with anthologies, for example, with Black Girl here, I had I put the work in. I really worked hard
Hmm.
on it. And you're gonna see, if you take a look at it, if you read it, you're gonna see my chapter is kind of like big. Some people didn't do much. I'm not
Hmm.
sure if it's because they didn't have much to say about the topic, or but either way, it benefits them, it benefits
Hmm.
everybody, because you
Yeah.
might, someone's chapter might be just like this, maybe two pages, when some a chapter is going to be like mine, like it's like almost 10 pages, and you're like, okay, my god, like you read and you keep reading. But either way it's good, because it allows you to have that collaboration with people that maybe you never met them before, maybe you're gonna have the chance to meet a chance to meet them one day.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And another thing is, every time, I sell, like for example, if this is Black Girl here, for example, if
Okay.
I wherever I go with this book.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
while I'm doing a commercial for myself, I'm doing a commercial for you.
Exactly.
That's true. That is
Understand what I
very
mean?
true.
Because
Hmm.
in this book, there is not only my information, but there's your contact and everything else. So wherever
Mhm.
so you get that chance to tap into my network
Hmm.
while I
That's
tap
right.
into your network. Now remember, in my network, I have people who can relate to my message and some
Mhm.
people who cannot relate to my message.
Right.
In your network, you have the same thing, vice versa. Now,
Right.
the people in my network who can relate to your message might be drawn to you because
Right.
of the fact that they discovered you through my network, or through the
Amen. I like that. I like that.
and this is important, collaboration. And I think people are a little bit afraid when they
Mhm.
think they have everything to lose, when they say, oh, I don't want to introduce people to my network. Listen, it's with collaboration you gain more.
Hmm.
You
Exactly.
gain more. You
Absolutely.
gain more.
Exactly.
Don't be afraid. It's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. Hmm. It's okay.
Absolutely. I just, I applaud you. I love the books. And I think that they were really, really well done. Victoria, do you have any questions?
I would like Lucy to show us the stories of immigrant women. Could you show that one, and could you talk about that one, how that one came out?
Oh, this one
Yes.
here.
Yes.
It is amazing. It's I'll tell you one thing that I love about this book is the fact that there's a lady who told me she reached out to me inbox and she
Yeah.
wanted to have a copy of this, and I had to send her the link on how to order, and she was like, why is how come I see on the cover. First of all, you have I'm not sure if you noticed I made the cover.
I
Yeah.
did see, we did see
I was
that.
Yeah,
Yes,
now we
absolutely.
see
I was
you.
really
Those of us
I
who
was
are viewing
grateful for
live
the
can
20.
see. Look at that beautiful book, everybody.
It is so amazing. Yeah, it was 28 women all together. So I'm
Mhm.
right here. But here's a
Uh-huh.
lady who she made me crack up. I remember I was laughing because when I finished with her, I understood that people don't understand. The word immigrant doesn't mean something. People are just. I'm gonna give you a quick example. If you, there's so many people here. She's from Germany. Okay,
Mhm.
Wow.
listen to
Mhm.
me. There are people here from UK.
Mhm.
Mhm.
There's so many. Look at the faces of of
Yes.
immigration.
Yeah.
Here are
Yes.
the faces of immigration in America. So this book is amazing. I feel like it. What I love about this book is, it's such a great work. It shows the reality of what immigrants look like.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, we have a
No, not only
preconceived
that,
idea of what it looks
it's an
like.
open. I'm sorry.
I said we have preconceived ideas of what when we say immigrant, what we don't when we think about, and we
Mhm.
don't want to say
Everybody
it,
has
but
yeah, but when you open this, first of all, you look at the cover and you're like, immigrants, all this, yes, they are all immigrants. It means one thing: they were not born in the US,
born in the
period.
United States. That's
Yes.
right.
That's it. They were not born in the US. So, and it's amazing how it's funny, and I love the fact that I read a lot of stories here
Mhm.
already. And
Yeah.
the funny thing is, there's so many things that it doesn't matter where you come from. Either you are in from original from the continent of Africa, like myself, or
Mhm.
you are from Europe, or
Mhm.
from South America, or even from North America, Canada.
Yes.
We have so many things in common. It's hilarious. There's so many things that I see over there. The connection, the fact that we don't only have the word immigrants in common, we have some type of struggles that are common. It's
Wow.
hilarious.
Wow.
Mhm.
Like things like, well, someone is going to be like, well, the American system is so crazy. I had to adjust. I had to adapt. I had to start from scratch. I had to do. There's so many things like that. Of course, the struggles are not going to be the same, but
No.
Right.
um, that's another topic. But it is amazing.
But
But
you
it's
also had the common thread of being an entrepreneur, and tell us a little bit
exactly.
about that.
I'm sorry.
I would say tell us a little bit about that, about the entrepreneurship.
Yes, the funny thing is those ladies are gonna share things like, okay, when she came here, she was like, okay, I wanted to go to school first and finish my education, stuff like that. And she found herself starting a new business because she felt like starting from scratch was too hard, and all that stuff. And then,
Mhm.
you find yourself saying one day, hey, listen, I'm gonna start from scratch here, which we all do. Most of us we
Mhm.
do that.
Mhm.
But in the meantime, you feel like you've wasted so many years. Not wasted. It's like most of us we left our countries or our continents at the adult age already,
Okay.
which means you lived already a certain. For example, I came here. I was 26 years old. I was already
Wow.
married with almost with a child. So you have to start from. You feel like by the time you come here, many people are already working. They already started their lives. So you feel like everybody else has an edge, and then you have to start
Mhm.
from scratch.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. And then on top
Mhm.
of that, if you have to learn the language again, it's even worse. So we all have that thing in common, and then you find yourself starting a business because you realize that maybe you have a child and you're looking for ways to raise the child yourself and
Right.
be in a part of the workforce as well. But you feel like, okay, I'm not really used to this American system, and do I really want my kids to be too American at the beginning like that? There's a struggle out there.
Yeah.
Do I
Yeah.
really want a nanny to take care of my kids, or do I want to take care of my kids? So you find yourself juggling back and forth, and finally you find yourself opening a business or trying to work, not necessarily like some of them have big businesses, and some
Mhm.
Mhm.
are just like myself, where we choose to just work for ourselves. We're like, okay, either coaching or conference. I mean, there's so many things that we do, and it's amazing. Like I said, at the end, there's so many things in common.
Beautiful. That is beautiful. Can you tell us a little bit about your own business?
Yes, yes, yes. What I do is, like I said at the beginning, oh my gosh, 10 years ago, I started with the sales. I
Mhm.
Mhm.
did sales for about 7 years. And oh my gosh, I think that's how I was able to learn how to deal with the American people, really. And I'm grateful because when you deal with sales, it forces you to work with people every single day. No matter
Yes.
how you feel, you got to get up and make that
Yep.
sale. You understand?
Mhm.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Gotta be
Yes,
nice.
have to. So, and then 7 years after I walked away, and I decided to first I shut down everything. My kids were becoming teenagers, so I was like, okay, Lucy, what do I do? I need to be able to be a little bit more with them because I was a
Mhm.
nurse before, and the
Oh,
reason why I decided to work in sales because I was able I wanted to be able to be flexible. I didn't want to be out there too much and work night shift.
Right.
right.
So now that the kids are getting to this place where we're going into their teenage years, I was like, Lucy, do you really want to be out there too much, or you want to be there with the kids to take care of them? And I decided to coach, and I started with the French speaking market.
Okay.
And with them, I was literally sharing helping them with my experience as an entrepreneur by myself, because
Mhm.
the French system is a little bit different. I'm not gonna say a little bit, very different
It is
than the American system, and the mindset is very different. So I started to work with the French system. I created an organization called l'Emergence l'Entrepreneur, where I started to teach new entrepreneurs how to, you know, the emotional roller coasters of
Mhm.
entrepreneurship. And I started to have clients overseas in Europe,
wow.
yes,
Wow.
France, Canada, mostly Belgium, France, and French speaking African countries.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then people started to be like, okay, Lucy, why is it that you don't, do you do all that work over there? Because I have a big following over there. I have a following over there with like more than 100,000 people
Oh
in the French
wow.
Oh my
speaking.
goodness.
Yes, it is crazy. And then I decided when I wrote that book and then went really crazy over there, I decided, and people were like, okay, why is it that you don't do this on that side? But I
Yeah.
always felt like there's so many there's a lot of great teaching over here, and
Yeah.
it was not my thing, you understand.
Yes.
Right.
What got me into um teaching, speaking, and doing career coaching and youth leadership coach
Yes.
is youth leadership coaching is the fact that I sat down one day and I was like, Lucy, what got you here? you know
Yes.
I I was what got you here? I realized that I did so many things, and in order for me to find what I really liked, I struggled a lot
Mhm.
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
I feel like no one took time to show me how to find the career path that I needed
Right.
and what I really wanted. So I thought career coaching only was going to work, but when I started to do career coaching, this is what happened. I felt like you help someone have a great, um, you prepare them for an interview, right? And you
Yeah.
show them how to get dressed, and you help them look good on paper. Like the resume is amazing. And
Mhm.
then what? When they get into those doors, then what? If they're not prepared before, sometimes they lose the job after because listen
That's
to
right.
me, Victoria, listen to me. You and I know, right? You cannot work with someone who has a bad attitude, right?
Yep.
Right. Right.
I can't deal with that. So I started to feel like something is missing, and I started to be drawn by the fact, I'm like, why? Why do I have to get those people ready before and then abandon them on the other side? So I started to feel like I felt the need to coach people and how to get ready for the profession, no matter what profession,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever it looks like to them. That's how I got into the youth leadership coaching, and I started to work with there's an organization called it's the educational branch of the United Nations.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, UNESCO.
Exactly. So I work
Mhm.
in partnership with them, um, and then we coach young people. It's amazing. So that's what I do. I mostly my career coaching is actually the combination of career coaching and youth leadership, because I just believe that you can't, if you really want to have people, the young people, if you want them to have the career of their dream, you have to
Mhm.
get them ready to lead themselves first.
Exactly. I love
That's what I
it.
believe. So that's what I do. That's what I do. And then I I travel. I talk about it a lot. I speak about it. I coach internationally. That's the reason
Wow.
I coach here. But it's funny how the demand comes from outside more. I don't know
Is
why.
that
Right.
something?
That's all right.
That's where you're supposed to be. You are an amazing lady. We need another show for you because what I've heard you say is that you've actually reinvented yourself a few times.
Oh yes, I did so
That's
many
what I'm
times.
hearing, and I'm going, wow,
Yeah,
Mhm.
I had to
wow.
reinvent myself, and I when you can I talk about God a little bit?
Please do. We got a few
Yes.
more minutes. Just
Okay.
a few more. Go ahead.
Yes,
Go
go
ahead. Go
ahead.
ahead.
Okay, good. Okay. When God gives you a purpose, right?
Yes.
Um it's funny how it's in your heart until you finally decide to do it. And I feel
Mhm.
like I used to think that I failed
Mhm.
until I realized that everything that I went through, all the experiences I had to go through were kind of like the pl- the
Mhm.
steps for me to be able to
Yes.
get those
Yes.
young people ready for their career today.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I feel that's way because um at this point I feel so at peace when I
Amen.
whatever I do, I'm so peaceful. I used
Amen.
to be agitated when I was working in, for example, when I was a nurse. I was a nurse. I was a dental assistant before.
Wow.
In
Mhm.
sales I was happy, but I was like always like something was
You
like,
knew there was something else for you.
yes.
Yes.
Since I started to
Yes.
do what I do, I feel so at peace. Like, and I can, you see the type of work that I can do for hours and hours. Sometimes I can work without getting paid and I'm still good.
Mhm.
Amen. I like what Marsha said. Reinvented for God's purpose, His calling for your life. And when you answer the call,
Mhm.
there is peace. I love it. I love it. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Please, please. I would love, I could talk to you a whole nother hour, but maybe I'm going to have to book us a coaching session. But could you tell our listeners how they can get in touch with you and how they can get the book? You guys, you're going to want to get both of these beautiful books.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Tell her, let me be
Okay.
quiet. Let me be quiet.
You can actually find me on www.luciematsouaka.com. It's
Okay.
just my name except the S. You can just
Mhm.
www.lucy. You just take the S out.
Okay.
Matsouaka.com. And then you can
Hmm.
find me on social media everywhere. And our
Okay.
books, all my books are. If you just Google my name, you're gonna find all my information. My books are on Amazon and over everywhere. This is just on Amazon. It just got released on Amazon.
Mhm.
Oh, guys,
This,
y'all got to
yeah,
get the book. It's
this is on
beautiful.
Amazon as well, and
Miraculous
or you
here.
can actually find a copy through to my on my website as well
Uh-huh.
if you want.
Awesome.
I
Yeah,
like what you said. Google you. We got a term that we came up with here. Googleicious. You are Googleicious. I
what do you
love it.
mean? Yeah, it's so funny how these days you can just Google.
Google
Like literally,
anybody.
if you
Yes.
But if
Google my
your
name,
name pops up as soon as like you are Googleicious.
Ah,
it's funny, but it's true. Like one day, I was never doing it until one day I was like, let me just Google my name and see what comes up. And I was like, whoa, everything was there. My
I might have to
website.
Google mine and see what comes up.
Yes, I did. I Googled my name. I saw everything. I saw my website. I saw my all my books were there.
mhm.
Everything was
Yay!
there. All
See,
the articles that were already everything was there. I was like, yeah, whatever. It's too late now.
Googleicious. Check.
Okay, well, we are out of time. Lucy, I just want to thank you for coming on our show. You have just done a marvelous job. Books are great, and we thank you so much for being on the show.
Yes,
Thank you so
yes.
much.
I,
Thank you
I
for
second
having
that
me.
emotion. I
Thank
do.
you
You
for
know,
having me.
we had your children, and I'm gonna tell you now. I see where the children get it from. I see. Say no
Listen, they're
more.
better than me, okay? They're better. Listen, when
Mm,
it
That's all
comes
right.
to English, they still I'm still learning from them. So
That's all
but
right.
but you know that saying is that the fruit doesn't fall too far from the tree. You should be proud of your fruit, and you should be proud of yourself. 'Cause you got it going on, woman of God. I love you. I love you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We
thank you so
Yes.
appreciate
much.
it.
Yes. And let's see. Real
we
quick.
missed we missed that we missed our other bronze girl. She's out
Yes,
there.
we did.
Hey Andrea.
Yes. Yes. And like I said, remember next week, our anniversary show. So stay tuned and come on back.
2 years.
Yep. So that's it. Good
Good
night,
night,
y'all.
everybody. We'll see you next week.
Good night.